Hello, and welcome back to Neil and Jam Reselling, and also to Boldfinds. Welcome, James.
Hello, thank you so much for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it. It's going to be good to hang out with you guys and find out what you got over the weekend.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first live we've done for a really long time. We used to do on a Sunday if the boot sales were rained off. We'd do a rainy day Sunday. So if it rains, then watch out, we'll be inviting people on.
Other than that, we normally do it's normally just doing show and tells or hauls, as people call them, of what we get. So that's normal, but it's great to have you on.
Thank you so much.
Find out, for those people on the channel who don't know of you yet, but I'm sure they will after this. Let's find a little bit more about you and your channel and where you when you started and why you started and that kind of thing.
Yeah, what brought you into the wonderful world of reselling?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm James, go as Boldfinds on eBay and YouTube. If we start with eBay, so the reason I got into eBay is I was made redundant during the pandemic and the first lockdown. So I worked in recruitment for a company for 5 years, but I'd worked in recruitment for 13 years, basically since I left school and college.
Nice.
Always enjoyed the recruitment game, enjoyed that side to it. But COVID hit, and actually it made me kind of slow down and stop with my life a little bit. Being put on furlough for 5 months, every morning you're waking up and you feel useless. You don't know whether you're going to be invited back into work or whether that's it, you're going to be made redundant. And then I got the dreaded text message actually on a Thursday evening from my former boss who said, "Oh, let's have a catch up tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Are you okay to jump on a Zoom call?" And straight away at that moment, I knew where that was going to go. You know, working in HR, you kind of know they're lining things up.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, I was made redundant, and I've always had that salesy side in me and always enjoyed reselling. I've done a little bit on the side, selling my own private stuff on eBay. Growing up, my dad used to take me to the car boot religiously, and I would buy stuff for myself. So I've always had that in me. And speaking to the wife, I kind of said to her that I'm tempted to do it full time. You know, I've got a bit of redundancy money behind me. Is this the perfect opportunity now to take the plunge full time? Decided I wasn't 100% sure because I didn't know whether I could do it. So I actually joined another recruitment company, and I was there for exactly 6 days before I was sitting there one day and I said, you know what, I really don't have a passion for this anymore. My passion is I want to start my own business and grow a reselling business. So I literally texted the wife and said, I'm going to leave and this is what I'm going to do. Had a whole support. And now it's coming up to, well, December will be 2 years since I've been doing eBay full time.
Nice.
I work at home in a shed here. It's quite a small shed. When we had it built, I thought, you know what, there's plenty of room. But as you guys probably know, with reselling, you think I'm only going to have 200 items in my eBay store. Next thing, you've got close to 1,000. So that's a bit about the reselling side. YouTube side is something that's fairly new to me. I've been on YouTube now, I think it's 6 weeks. And lots of family and friends have always said, you know what, why don't you do a YouTube channel? And my excuse is always, I won't have time to do it. You know, reselling takes a lot of time. I won't have time to do all these videos and stuff. And actually speaking to Mel from Burnout, who's in the same group as myself and Neil are in, the resellers group, she encouraged me to basically go and look at her first YouTube video, see how rubbish it is, and then just put out your first video, because she says your first video is going to be awful. Your first 10 or even 50 or 100 won't be as good as you want them to be. Yeah. But just get out there and get your name out there. So that's what I've done. I've done a quick intro into me. I talked about a challenge I'm doing on my channel, which is turning £10 into £10,000 and talking about the journey behind that. But what's important for me is keeping things truthful and realistic. A lot of people, when they resell things, you know, they might say, I sold this bottle of water for £100. They won't talk about the fees involved. They won't talk about the postage costs. They won't talk about the returns and the problems you get customer service. Yeah. So for me, it's all about that transparency on my channel of showing people what you pay for things and showing people what you actually make after everything has come out as well. So yeah, in a nutshell, I know I probably blabbered on a bit there, but that's about me.
No, well, that's what we want to hear. Wanted, you know, for people who watch this channel who might not know of you, you know, to get the basics of where you've come from and where you're kind of heading. is really important. It's really good to know.
And in terms of content for your YouTube, Mel and Nick Hill just film their daily
life.
Well, not so much their daily life as their daily work.
Yeah.
You know, I tend to do because I've got this channel with Neil, and then I've got a little channel on my own, and I just do whatever. You know, if I bought a Hoover, then I'll open it, make a little film of opening it and hoovering the carpet and saying, "Oh, that works well. Oh, no, I don't like that. It can go back."
Who's this one, John?
Limelight Vinty. Hi, Limelight Vinty.
Limelight Vinty. Good morning.
Limelight, hi. Yeah, Limelight's quite. I see Limelight pop up. He comes in quite a few of my lives and stuff. So yeah, welcome and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, nice.
But you know, really, it's just a case of turning your camera on and getting content out there, no matter what it is. You know, and with reselling, you know, it's what people do films of listing, and they do films of picking, and
their processes, and why they pick stuff up, and stuff like that, and also the places they pick it. I mean, we don't always share. I mean, for boot sales, it's fine to go and say, you know, this is where I'm going. But if you get those little niche little bits that you've made a contact, you don't necessarily share those, because obviously you don't want somebody else stealing your contact.
You know, people do love the boot sale footage, and I started taking my GoPro as well, so we could get a view of what I'm looking at as opposed to Neil's. But I don't like wearing it in the summer because you've got these big straps and your boobs kind of hang out the middle and it just looks hideous. But in the winter, I wear it under my clothes with just a little camera popping out the top, and so most people don't even notice. But then it needs Neil to edit it into the other
it's
films.
the editing time.
Somehow all of my footage gets lost.
It gets left out, Jan. Yeah, I mean, I've only recently got a GoPro. I think I've had a GoPro now a couple of weeks. This weekend just gone was my second time out and about with the GoPro, and I completely understand what you mean. And actually, I'm still at the stage of where I still feel weird wearing it. It's not natural yet, and I think I overthink it a little bit. And actually, when it comes to even having that interaction with people, I can feel myself, because I know it's being recorded, sometimes not bargaining as much as I normally would, because I don't want it to come across in the video that, you know, if someone says this is £20 and I say, would you take 15, I don't want people in the comments to be like, oh, £20 is a fair price, you resellers are all the same, kind of thing. And I know it doesn't happen, because that's the nature of a car boot sale. You know, people are there to sell the stuff and they expect to have that bargaining. But I realized on my first boot sale video, I think I tried to negotiate once, and that's so unlike me, because normally I try and negotiate.
But
as I always say, James, the thing with the boot sale, it's their job to get as much money as they can for their product, and our job to get it as cheaply as possible. So,
and they always have the right to say no.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I mean, we've got the right to
away.
ask for it for cheap, and they've got the right to say, actually, no.
But again, I understand, because I always feel really bad when I say, how much is this? And they say £5. And I don't know how to get out of the conversation because I don't want it. You know, I say, oh, thank you, and walk away. But I feel, was that a bit rude? Or, I mean, very early on, you said something, got a lot of comments about rude.
Yeah, I did.
Because he tends to be a bit blunt sometimes.
Yeah,
I think you're getting out of that a bit now.
What I'm getting at is it's also partly to do with my illness, and sometimes when I'm not feeling that great, I am blunter rather than more diplomatic. And I think these days, if saying, I'm more likely to say, "Oh, I might come back for that later."
Yeah, that's the line. That's the line I use. You know, I'm gonna wander around. I've just arrived. I'm gonna have a wander around, and if it's still here later, I might pop back.
Yeah,
I try and get out of it that way. But I know what you mean. When you've kind of asked some of the price and they've told you, in your head as a reseller, you think, oh, do you know what? There's not much profit in that for me. Or even if I'm not sure, I don't like getting my phone out in front of them and say, oh, let me just check. I'm not confident enough to do that. So I'd rather walk away for a bit.
Yeah, I'll go
check it out and then come back.
Up before I start looking up things.
Yeah.
I won't do it very secretly. I'll sit on my walker and turn my back to them.
Although,
pretend I'm texting my mum or something.
Although, when you go around boot sales and you've got a camera and people ask why are you filming and stuff like that, and they start to know. I mean, on our regular boot sales, we've got quite a few people that we know and know us, and in front of them, I mean, they know I'm a reseller. They know I'm doing it for profit. And in front of those certain people, I wouldn't mind doing that because they know who we are.
Yeah.
And like we know, you know, I know they're there to make a profit. It's their job. They're not the householder who just turn up occasionally. They're there every week, and you know them, and you build up a relationship. And
we always try to seek out the person who's running the boot sale and actually getting a relationship with them, because there is one that some of his helpers got a bit shirty about us filming. I think because they were probably cash in hand and not supposed to be working, but they got really funny about it, and we were asked not to film, so we just made the decision, right, we won't go back.
We won't go back there.
You know, filming is part of what we do.
However,
and there are plenty of other boot sales that we can get.
There is a South of England show, one that's just started up with a new new person who's running it. And
I was going to say a new runner, but that's not.
And yesterday we actually did a little film, a short intro. It was like a 2-minute interview about the boot sale, about their plans for it, and to promote it, and that'll go out on the channel to all of their people and help promote the boot sales. If there's a nice boot sale, we try and promote it, and to get a relationship with those people. They don't mind you filming. Then, in fact, at the end of that, I let them know that if I'm walking around your boot sale and whatever, and you've got something you want to say to your audience of that boot sale, come and let us know. We'll do a piece to camera. You can always put out whatever you want.
And I think it's about being respectful in that sense. I mean, I've not had anyone in all the boot sales so far say, "Are you filming? You know, what are you filming for?" And honestly, I'll just be 100% open to say I have a YouTube channel. People enjoy watching what I pick up at the car boot sale, and I buy and sell on eBay. And if someone turns around and says to me, "Oh, well, I don't want to be in the film," absolutely. I try not to film faces, first of all. You need to be careful with things such as children as well, because people are a bit funny if they think you're filming children. And I will say to people, if you don't want to be in it at all, just let me know and I'll cut it out 100%. Here's my channel.
Absolutely.
You can watch the video back to make sure you're not in it, blah, blah, blah. I think it's all about that respect. But I liked what you done the other day, Neil. I watched one of your videos over the weekend, and you spoke to a house clearance company. Yeah. And instead of just sort of saying, you know, this is my thing, you kind of said, would you like us to give you a shout out? So actually for them, there's a bit of promotion. And off the back of that, he subscribed to your channel. So it's building that connection, and it's kind of like, you know, this is what I do as a job. I respect what you do as a job. Let me help you.
Yeah.
You know, so it's that kind of thing.
We also do charities.
Yeah,
if there's a
if
charity
we find a charity store, then we'll talk to them and ask them what their charity's all about. Or if we just found recently a guy doing paintings. Yeah. And so anybody
put his
got a
Facebook
business,
page on there.
We'll do what we can to help them, because it's all mutually beneficial.
Become part of the community.
Sorry, we're getting all the dogs have decided to get up on the sofa.
They want to be on the live.
Neil's got all his clothes piled up there, and then they're both sat down now. Sorry about this.
Chester's joining in.
Yeah, Chester's decided to co-present.
So all good. So should we have a little look at what we got? What we picked up?
Yes,
you better start. You got most.
Well, I'm gonna.
Well, I mean, have you got a lot, James? Because I've got hardly anything this week.
Do you know what? I done quite well this weekend. Lots of sort of smaller items, which is good for me. I did pick up a CRT TV for free on Facebook Marketplace, one of the old gaming ones, and that's still in the bank. It's quite chunky. But lots of my stuff is small. But I did pick up a real gem, which I'll show at the end.
Well, cool. I was going to say, as our guest, would you like to start us off? Sorry, it was really. I'm so used to it being just the two of us.
Yeah, I've sorted a few bits out this morning. I grabbed them from the van because normally what I do over the weekend is I list my drafts on eBay, but I don't really process the weekend stock until Monday. I kind of like to do the boot sales and enjoy the weekend. Yeah. But we will start with a cuddly toy. It's like a generation game a bit, this. The reason I picked this one up is because it's a Disney Store exclusive.
Right.
That makes sense.
I didn't know the character. So if anyone in the chat knows the character, I do know the character's name now. But it is someone from Finding Dory. And by watching other resellers, they say the Disney exclusives, the ones you need to look out for, are the not well-known characters.
Yes.
So I paid 50p for the seal, and looking this morning, it's about a £15 item with postage. You can charge postage on top of that as well. So yeah, that was one of my early pickups at the car boot sale. But I always look for Disney Store plushes. They're really easy to post, and if they're the unknown characters, they can go for good money. The The only thing with this one, it hasn't got the tag. If it's got the original tag on it as well, you're
Right.
looking at about 20 to 25. So yeah, always worth keeping your eyes open for them.
Right, and can I just say that Limelight Vinty is actually Jenny from Manchester, and she's listening while she's working, and she's saying that she went to a Bolton car boot sale on Sunday and it was huge, and she nearly gave up halfway round. I know that feeling. Sadly, our boot sales were, I think, because of the
They're
heat,
slowing down. Yeah.
Yeah, they were. Yesterday's particularly were very small, weren't they?
Yeah.
It was the same for me. Yesterday was probably half the field to what it normally is. But I would normally spend 2 or 3 hours at that car boot sale. And yesterday, I think I was done in about an hour and 20. But the heat as well, I think it has put a lot of people off with it being so hot. So hopefully this coming up weekend is not going to be as warm. So then people who kind of said, we'll leave it a week. I think this weekend coming up is going to be really busy because we are coming to the end of season.
Yeah, it is.
Because I don't know if it's because the Poynings one that we go to, it varies between fields. Sometimes it's in Poynings, sometimes it's in Sayers Common.
Yeah, Sayers Common, yeah.
And I don't know if a lot of the people had gone to the other place and hadn't realised it had swapped back to Sayers Common, and that's why they weren't there, or just because Saturday was so hot that they thought,
some car boot sales in the area have been cancelled because of the heat.
Yeah.
So,
because we went to a boot sale Saturday morning and then went to I think Neil told you we went to the medieval joust in the afternoon, and we were only there for about 2.5 hours, weren't we?
Yeah.
Which, when you're paying £20 each to get in, is a very short amount of time. But it was.
But yesterday afternoon was really hot.
Yeah,
it felt like you're on holiday hot. That it is. There's no breeze or anything and stuff.
The field that they were actually jousting in didn't have any cover or shade at all, and they were having to sponge the horses down because they were too hot. And it was, do you know what? This is not enjoyable anymore. We saw one round of jousting, and they said, right, off.
Right, let me show. I'm going to move the camera for this one. I actually picked up 81 pairs of trousers.
Wow.
Most of them are jeans.
Have you got anything in that car?
Yeah, so don't worry. So that is my trouser pickup. Now, of that, the ones that I'm very happy with is they're all going to fall off now. This pile here, there is 8 that are brand new with tags. And basically the jeans pretty much for £1 each, the whole lot.
Wow.
It was all £1 each, including the new with tags.
So and your jeans have started selling now quite well, haven't they?
The jeans really have.
It was a bit slow, a bit of a slow start, but they've started moving.
You do need. I actually sold some this morning. There was some. There was a pair of Denim Co, which I think is trying to think who it is.
Oh, I haven't got a clue.
It's a local supermarket brand. I had it on for £9. Somebody offered me £6. Picked them up for £1. There's a profit. Just take the profit. So
I think eBay's clever in that sense. I found that, Neil, with my books, where the more books I was listing, the more they are selling. You think, well, that's obvious because the more items you're listing up, the more you're going to sell. But I think eBay starts sending you that traffic. Yeah. So start sending you the people who are searching for jeans more. Whereas if you list up one pair of jeans, you might not ever see them customers. Where if you're constantly now listing trousers and jeans, Neil, you're going to be getting more of them customers. And eBay are going to start seeing you as a trouser jean seller. And say, right, anyone who's searching trousers and jeans, we know Neil does a good job. He gets items out on time. Let's send him more of that traffic. Because I found that with the books now. On the books, I sell anywhere between 6 to 8 bundles a day, just on the books alone. So at the start, it was 1 or 2 a week, so it does pick up. But I think that's because eBay sends you more traffic for that certain item.
I think I've now got about 300 pairs of jeans listed. And obviously, there's more going on each week. So I have got other things other than jeans as well this week, but it was mainly jeans. But Jan, what have you got?
Well, if you've been watching our videos, you'll see that I've been picking up teapots, and I always think like attracts like. And it got to the stage where I thought, right, no more teapots unless there's something special about them. Whereas Neil says, purple is my kryptonite.
Jan loves purple.
So you went from no more teapots, Jan, to let's buy a teapot.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much
Well, this is a London Pottery Farmhouse filter teapot in purple. I don't know if you can see that colour in this light. And I mean, they retail, teapots aren't cheap anymore. I think these are about £40 brand new. So they should have a good.
And you paid how much?
I think that was £150.
£150.
Yeah, £150 for that one.
Cool. Over to you, James.
So Jan, what I'm interested to know, and I was speaking to Neil earlier about this as well, is I always see ceramics, pottery, collectibles and stuff. I'm scared to pick them up because I'm scared to send them because I think, do you know what, the amount of stuff that's going to get broke. So I'm quite keen to find out how you would pack something like that. Do you use a double-walled box? What else do you do to it?
Yeah, for mugs, I just use the 6-inch square boxes, but then they're a double-walled cardboard anyway. Yeah. But then I reline those. We get these. I don't know if Neil's shown you the boxes that we get from my box buddy Suzanne. But I will chop up cardboard and completely reline that again. So that's 2 layers of cardboard.
Sure.
And then it's a case of wrapping them up with, I do first of all tissue paper and then making sure that they've got enough stuff around them that it's wedged. And the trick is shake the box. If there's no movement at all, it should be safe.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you saw the video. I don't know. Yeah, I think it is up on already, where I'd actually ordered a piece of Yadro on eBay and it arrived. I unwrapped it on camera. And as I was unwrapping it, I could feel that the head had snapped.
You can hear it as well, yeah.
And what had happened was the lady had actually done it over and over with parcel tape. And I think it had put too much tension on the actual things. But, you know, when you're posting out porcelain, especially figurines, you've got to be so careful. It's got to be really, really delicate.
Yeah.
So wrap it kind of loosely, but then wedge all around the wrapping, if you know what I mean. I've got a piece that I got over the weekend that came in the original box, and the box that it came in had like the polystyrene peanuts in little bags, so you could lift one out, but then it held it all in place.
Quick one from Jenny for a sec. We've got, I've never tried selling clothes, although I know there's a lot of money to be made. Do you find there are more clothes returned than other items? Jenny, what myself, me, Jan, and James are in a mentoring group from Daily Refinement, and the information that is given in there to how to list items correctly and to try and give the measurements and all the stuff that is needed so that you don't get too many returns. That's what I try and do now. And when I move over to, I've got some other items of clothing. There are other procedures that are done with each item of clothing to make sure that they're measured and they're exactly what the item is told to the customer, so that you try and minimize the clothing. And that's what I try and do. Unfortunately, go on, James.
I was going to say, add on to that. I think the good thing with clothing, and in the Daily Refinement group, I'd probably say as high as 90% of people in that group are clothing resellers. And the reason they are clothing resellers is because there's such an abundance of clothing. You go anywhere, a car boot sale, a jumble trail, or even on Facebook Marketplace, you will see people who a lot of time want to give away their old clothes because they don't wear them anymore. They might not fit, and they're just taking up wardrobe space. So I understand completely why you do clothes. I mean, I've done some clothing before. I don't get excited by it, but then I don't get excited about listing up a big VCR player. You know, it doesn't excite me in that sense. So I think it's all about what you can find an abundance of. And so I completely understand why you do clothes.
Yeah.
Returns, I think every category has high returns. I used to do a lot of electrical, and they were the worst for returns. So
well, it's even worse now if you've got so for example, I've got a 30-day a return policy. So for any reason someone can return something up to 30 days. It hasn't got to be that there's something wrong with it. It's literally a case of if they change their mind.
It's part of the eBay.
Yeah. But the other thing I find is that what I'm trying to work towards is that I can now do 30 sets of photos for jeans in under 3 hours, compared to with a lot of other items. I might only get 10 items done. And the packaging for jeans is literally, once it's done, you put it in a bag, you put a SKU number on it. When it sells, you just pop it in a poly mailer, job done. There's none of this, what you have to do for ceramics and stuff like that, and DVD players, all the big wrapping boxes. So I find clothing a lot easier to wrap and post. So that's why I'm trying to get the volume of items out rather than maybe only 5 items a day. So that's my thing about it. And thank you, Jenny, for that question. Right, who was it, Jan? Were we in between yours or James?
I think James was next.
James next.
Yeah. Okay. So I will put the plush down before I lose him. So I picked up some bar stuff, and these are rubber bath mats or beer mats for bars. So a lot of people have been building home bars, especially during lockdown.
Yeah.
And so the reason I picked these up is I went to a jumble sale the other week, and it was actually held at a pub, and the people who owned the pub were actually selling brand new ones of these, not the same style, it was a different make.
Yeah.
And they wanted 50p each, and I looked on eBay and they were going for about $12.99 each, brand new.
Yes.
So they sold so quickly, the sell-through rate was really good. Anyway, so I picked up these 3 mats and 2 ashtrays as well, which go for good money.
Yeah,
and that was
really well.
that was £10 for the whole lot, so it worked out £2 an item in the end. But doing some research, I mean, this one's probably about a £15 mat, even in used condition. This one's a bit more common, so that's probably about £7 or £8. But this one, there's one listed at the moment for £38. None have sold. So
nice.
I'm going to go cheaper on this. I'll probably do it at 25 and just accept offers. I've never heard of the make J&B. It's Justerini and Brooks, but I've never heard of them. But I think they're a Belgian whiskey company.
Oh, right.
Not 100% sure. But again, for £2 each on the bar match, you're looking at sort of maybe £30-35 return just on them. And I haven't looked up the ashtrays yet. But again, I would always recommend people look out for bar stuff, because people are doing home bars and stuff as well. And I'd rather pick up these than the glasses, as I mentioned about the packing. So you can get lots of beer glasses and stuff that people sell now, and they're good to pick up. So yeah, just something to have on your radar.
That's a really interesting item. I've never.
Flipping Sloth picked up a huge consignment of beer glasses a while back, but he seemed to sell those through really well. So
yeah, it's funny. Jay's Flipping Sloth. He's actually on my channel this evening on my live at 7 o'clock, and he goes to the boot sale I went to yesterday. I saw him at the car boot sale.
Oh, right.
But they were picked up on Saturday. But yeah, he's all into that bar stuff as well. He knows that some of the stuff goes for good money. You got to be careful. Some of the stuff doesn't. I wouldn't pick up the bar mats unless they're really cheap. But the rubber runners are really good, and they sell quickly, which is always important.
Anyone who wants to watch that this evening, James's channel information is scrolling down below.
Oh, that's very posh. Did you do that, or did James?
No, I did that.
No, Neil's done that part. Yeah.
Learn how to scroll that one through.
Many talents.
Yeah. Oh, it's only just dressing. Trust me, it's not that hard, but you know how. Anyway, yeah, cool. Right, I'm going to move on to my next lot, which basically I bought some shirts. This is a lot of this stuff was actually from one person. And he was just having a clear out of his stuff, and everything was £1. So I bought jeans off of him. I bought these. We've got some shirts here. These
Are they all new with tags?
Like this pile is all new with tags. And they were all £1 each. What's that one? I've got my glasses on. Excuse me a sec. Let's make this that way. So, have you heard of Jack Jones?
Yeah, quite a popular brand, Jack Jones.
Yeah, these are Jack Jones. So there's one. There's this one here for Jack Jones. Actually has as these all have the label. So the price in the UK on this is 39 quid.
Mm-hmm. And they're all brand new and tagged still.
And
yeah,
these are all brand new with tags.
So Neil, out of interest, how would you price them up? Would you search each individual shirt, because that would obviously take time, or would you kind of say I'm going to list them up all at the same price of, say, I don't know, $19.99 for instance, and list them all at the same price regardless of the style?
I'm probably gonna, as I put them in, I'll grab the title and throw that into Terapeak.
Okay, yeah,
and stick it on as new with tags and see what price range they're coming up for. Yeah. Obviously, I don't want to take the very cheapest. I can hang on to these for a little while. But for example, I'm guessing at the moment, so that one's 30. This last one here was only 18. So I'll probably, if it was on for 18 new with tags, I'll probably go for about 14 and happy to accept 12.
Yeah.
So you want to be enough to, obviously it's not in a shop, although it's brand new with tags. It's not in a shop, so it's got to come down. And then there'll be those who are trying to get all the money, and I want to be under that so that it moves slightly quicker, so that I get some more funds for next week's boot sales coming.
Of course, and you might get someone, depending on the size, you might get someone who wants all of them. So you might get someone who makes you offer on all 5 or 6, however many you got, and they might offer £10 each, and you think, well, actually, it's cost me £6. It's going to turn into £60. It's one transaction, and let's get them out the door, kind of thing.
Yeah, that one's 34 quid new with tags. So yeah, got a nice little bundle of those. So I was really happy with those. And actually, there's another pile of about 10 that aren't new with tags, but are the same ones. He's obviously worn them, and then, but they're, picked up a load of them. Really happy with that. Joe?
Well, having broke my rule about teapots, there was the 50p tray. So I found some more. That's actually a beautiful blue, not purple. And this one is an American, to commemorate the American Revolution, 1776 to 1976.
Interesting.
But, I mean, that one's quite clean. But normally these teapots are really grim when I pick them up. But I can get them up, cleaned up like new.
Mm-hmm.
And then just to finish off the teapot, this isn't a teapot, it's a Denby Jug.
So what do they use? What would you say people would use that for then?
I'd say they're normally listed as either coffee or milk.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, you could use it for anything really, coffee, milk, gravy, whatever.
Yeah.
But Denby is such a good brand.
Yeah.
And the Denby ones like this normally have the capacity on the bottom. This one's slightly rubbed out. I think it's the 1 pint one.
It looks like 1 pint.
And I've got them mainly in the Manor Green colours. First one I've seen in the brown and blue, so that might be a bit better. But, you know, Denby is just...
And would you say, Jan, they're 50? You paid 50p each for them?
The 2 teapots I paid 50p. The Denby I paid £1 for, and I'm generally picking them up over the last few weeks for £1 each for that particular style of jug.
Sure.
And they don't sell for much, but they do have some value. So if you can, the thing is that you've got to look out for though is chipping all round there, because once they're chipped, they're just not worth anything. Yeah,
not worth the money.
But they will still try and persuade you that it's Denby, you know, even with the chip, it's still worth 20 quid. And it's like,
it's not.
Actually, no, it's not.
Not with the chips.
You've got to kind of learn your stuff, really.
Yeah. James, what have you got next?
Something that I used to have when I was a child, but I had the original versions of these. and I picked up 2 from the same person. Hold on a second, I'm just smashing up the shed. You can set that down there. There we are. Yeah, I picked up 2 from the same person, and they're Furbies.
Cool.
But they're not the original ones. So what you want to look out for, and I sold one recently for close to £100, is you want to look out for the original tags. So these are, I believe these are called Furby Booms, is the name of them. And I think these are more interactive. I think they connect up to your phone and the apps on your phone as well.
Oh,
so
right.
These don't go for as much money as the original ones. So they're the ones to keep your eyes open for. But these were £3 each. I've done a little bit of research this morning. This is probably a £12 to £15 one. So not the most amazing pickup. But this one used should go for about 25 to 30. So a nice rainbow color. So I've still got to test them. They said they fully work. They just need batteries, and you hear that a lot of car boot sales. So they're in the testing pile for today. But if they do work,
I know that Nick Hill says he always takes some batteries in his pocket so he can test.
Yeah. I've seen George Ross do the same as well, take batteries and power packs and stuff to the car boot sale. I never do personally, because even with these, you need a screwdriver to actually get in the bottom of it. So then you're taking a full kind of toolkit to test it. And when they're £3 each, you know, I kind of take the risk. And even if they don't work.
In the grass and you're screwed, aren't you? So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, sometimes it's about kind of taking the gamble and but also looking at the type of people that you're buying it from sometimes as well.
Completely agree.
I mean, like, there are some house clearance people and whatever, you know, they haven't tested it. You know that and there are some people that say, "Oh, I've only worn it a few times." It's like, you know, they're a reseller. They've never worn it before in their life. It's just their pattern that they're trying to sell stuff with. And there are other people who know it's genuinely theirs and they've had it and all this kind of stuff.
Sure. I mean, I like taking calculated risks in a way, and anything electrical I pick up, I always think of spares and repairs. So I think worst case scenario. I mean, I sold a DVD VHS recorder a couple of days ago. I need to post it out today, and that was a £5 pickup, and that went for over £100. But I knew straight away that it's got the remote with it, so the remote is worth more than £5.
Yeah.
So even if the player didn't work, I can sell that for parts for £20 to £30, and I can sell the remote for a tenner. And there's your money back already. So when I pick up things, it's kind of that calculated risk. But if these Furbies don't work at £3 each, I know I could probably sell the pair for £10 and get my money back as spares and repairs for someone who wants to repair them, or maybe just wants them as an ornament on a shelf compared to working and making the annoying noises that they make. So
in fact, some people might see that as a bonus.
Yeah, if they don't work, we'll just look at them instead of them playing all the time. But again, something to look out for Furby, especially the original ones.
Yeah. Well, as we're on the toys, I picked up a Boppet. This is a Tetris Boppet, and actually, I don't even. This is one's got batteries in.
And it's doing something.
And it's doing it. I don't know if it's going to have lights. Yeah, the lights come on.
Nice.
And I picked this up for £1, and they'll actually sell for between £10 to £15. So
yeah, I would even potentially hold that for Q4 as well. I've got a few things in my loft where I won't list until October, November time, especially because that's a great Christmas toy for people, especially on Christmas Day, Boxing Day, you know, the family to play it. You might be able to get the higher end of it as well. So I've got board games and I do the same. You know, I've got a couple of Monopolies that I haven't even listed yet, just because I'd rather wait to get a bit more money if you can. But normally Boppet flies out the door.
I must admit, I tend to put them on at the slightly higher price, but happy to put them on this time of year. Yeah. I don't mind when they're sold. I don't need to wait. The thing is, if you're prepared to wait until Q4, if it's up there and someone wants to buy it for the price you want to sell it for, it's a case of just not taking silly offers this time of year.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm doing. I guess partly the thing is with me is because my stock basically, once it comes in and whatever, it goes up to my room until it's photographed, listed, and once it's been listed, it can then go to the garage. I kind of need to get it listed to get it out so that I can get more stuff to process next week. And if I leave it unlisted, then I've got a whole row of boxes behind where I photograph the trousers of stuff that isn't listed yet. And it's a case of I can't have too much stock there. So it's just get it listed, get it to the garage. So, but yeah, all good. Who's this that?
Oh, that sounds like a sale.
That sounds like a sale. We have a. So what's just come in on the sales is I got a whole box of Wii remote control handles. You know, the grips, the rubber grips.
These ones here.
Yep, those.
Yeah.
I bought a box of like 40 of them for 10 quid.
Nice.
And that is so I've got them listed in individuals, pairs, and I think there's a couple of fours, and I've just sold two for £8.58.
Nice, and they'll just keep ticking along. They're nice to have in the store of just one listing or a couple of listings, and they will just keep moving. Yeah. So it was really nice to pick that amount up, and because they're on multiples and I have multiples of them, they just keep ticking away. So yeah, that's cool. Jam, you're just getting your next item.
Yeah. Is that my one?
Yep, that's your one.
And this is a real change for me because I never, ever, ever pick up clothing unless it's for Neil to wear. But I thought you've done it all up now, so I can't show the labels and things.
Hang on. Go on.
I just saw this jacket hanging up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see that label. Levi Strauss and Company. And when my generation, we always knew Levi as Levi Strauss, none of this abbreviation.
Yeah.
And it's in almost as new condition, and it's got Strauss there. Everywhere you look, there's labels saying Strauss. And I have no idea I had no idea of the value of it. I just thought, I'm sure that's worth something. And it's in such lovely condition. And she wanted £3 for it. So I thought, well,
you can't leave it behind at £3.
It's a thermal one. Yeah, because like all down the inside, there's more Straussy stuff. It's insulated to maintain body heat, dry water repellent, Levi Performance, thermal insulation expert, more Levi badges. So I've got no idea.
And it's a great time to sell them because we are coming. I know it doesn't feel like it today and this weekend, but we are coming to the end of summer. So it's a good time to get it uplisted.
In a matter of weeks, definitely. I'll just hang it back up before the dust get all over it.
So Stephanie's saying, I'm still sorting out all my stuff since I moved, and we had all of my late in-laws' house that put out in a garage, still going through the boxes. Yeah. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work when you've got to go through in-law stuff and that, and people who've
or even just parents,
or just parents and stuff. So next one is, let's just go through some of these quickly. Morning. Just seeing that it's live.
Hello everybody who's just joining us.
Morning everybody. Yeah, we now have 5 people live, so that's really good.
Amazing.
For Monday morning,
People are just saying good morning to each other. That's brilliant. Thank you. So that was your jacket. Really nice jacket. I think that's really good pick up, that one. So
time will tell, but
I
think for £3 you can't go wrong, can you?
No. James.
So I will reveal the one I mentioned about. So my best pickup by far at the weekend. I was at the Sunday car boot sale, and this car boot sale is really good because they don't open till 7, and they don't let anyone in before 7, so you can't pay early to get in.
Yeah.
And also they don't let the other sellers walk around to go and pick up stuff, because otherwise some people will pay to have a stall to go and do it, which is fine as a reseller. It's a great tactic actually if you wanted to do it that way. Anyway, so coming to the end, and I was on my last row, And I don't think this car had been there long, but I walked past and the first thing I saw was this. So a red
Nice, yeah.
Nintendo Wii.
Yeah.
And it had 2 of the nunchucks, including the red one.
Brilliant.
Sorry, the controllers. 2 of the nunchucks, the white ones.
Nice. Yep.
And it also had a stack of games.
Excellent. What games have you got there?
Including-
Oh, no, that one's worth money.
Yeah. So it's got that one there.
Yeah.
I've looked it up, and actually, the Wii's have dropped a bit during lockdown. They went crazy high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're still looking at £10 to £15 for that game.
Yeah.
That one there is another good one. I think it's about £8 to £10 now. The Smash Bros Brawl, and then all the standard ones. So we play doesn't really go over a lot. So I bundle that with the console. FIFA, we all know about FIFA. Not worth talking about.
Yeah.
Call of Duty. Again, will go bundled with the console, and also a Sonic game, which again hasn't got much value anymore.
Yeah.
So all of that, just the Wii stuff alone, was £10 for the lot.
Nice.
And I couldn't believe it was still sitting there. It comes with all the power cables, as I showed you a second ago. It comes with the grips, so all the cables are there with it. So that's 100% complete. But then sitting next to it, I thought, do you know what? I'll take that for £10. But then sitting next to it, I couldn't believe what was on the floor. And we have a PlayStation 4.
Right.
And that came with 2 of the official controllers.
Controllers, nice.
So the same store. So I was speaking to the couple.
They're still over
And they
100
said-
quid, I think, aren't they?
What's that, sorry?
I think PlayStation 4s are still worth well over 100 quid.
Yeah. So speaking to the couple, I said to them, you know, well, I'll take the Wii, but how much your PlayStation as well? So they said, oh, it's £10 for the Wii. And they went, how about £15 for the PlayStation? And you can imagine how quickly I got my money out. And I was quite annoyed because my GoPro battery had just gone. So I didn't catch any of the footage. Because when I walked off, I thought, you know what? That's the perfect start to my boot sale video. Because that's going to keep people on the channel, you know. Anyway, so yeah, I should have actually.
Well, when it's an emergency like that, whip the phone out. And like...
I was more interested in the fact that I saw 3 or 4 other resellers who I know are resellers because we chat and stuff, hovering around as I was picking up the PlayStation. And then he brings out a bag and he's like, oh yeah, I've got all the leads for it, blah blah blah. And so I couldn't get the money out quick enough. And there was a small part of me tempted to go, would you take £20 on the pair? But I thought, no, £25. I want it's in my trolley as quick as possible. But the Wii, so I've done some comps this morning just quickly. So the red Wii and the games, I should get anywhere between 40 and 45 on that one. That's with the one controller. I might bundle this other controller with it, or you can sell these at the moment with the nunchuck and the thing for about 10 15 quid.
Have you looked on CEX to see what price they give?
Yeah, it's dropped a lot. So it's about what eBay give at the moment for vouchers, but I would rather get the cash than the vouchers. The cash price is lower than eBay with CEX at the moment. But the exciting thing is the PlayStation 4. I've had a look and someone got £120 for just the console without the controllers. And the controllers are probably 15 to 25 each. So I think I'm going to list it all as a bundle. So the PlayStation 4, the 2 controllers. I actually think I've got a couple of PlayStation 4 games, like basic games in the storage as well. So I might list it all up at maybe 160, 170 with post. And then put offers on it and just wait to see. And again, coming up to Q4 especially, as long as you price it right, games consoles sell overnight. So I'll do some more research. But all in all, I think the £25 is going to be well over £200.
Nice. Really
so
nice.
Yeah, I was over the moon. But it's one of them things. It's the right time, right place. At my Saturday car boot sale, I've got no chance of picking up gaming stuff because there's a couple of people who literally walk from car to car to car to car. Any gaming stuff, they're in their boots, any gaming stuff, and that's all they buy. So actually, I don't even bother looking for it at a Saturday car boot. But because it's Sunday one, they let everyone in at the same time, it's a lot easier to get good stuff, which is why I like going to it.
I must admit, last year, I was picking up a lot. I was just picking up loads and loads and loads of gaming stuff. But then again, it's with the when it's the prices started to slow down a bit and consoles. I still had loads, and then when after I joined the mentoring group and I needed a new phone, I literally took in a whole load of consoles and I managed to swap it for an iPhone 11. And so I literally got about £600 worth of a phone for taking some old consoles in, and they were kind of like Xbox 360s and a few old PlayStations, because I decided also I took in my I had accumulated some test consoles for testing games and testing controllers out, and I took those in because I decided that consoles it was just taking up too much room for me, the consoles.
And I think you made the right choice there, because you've brought something for your business. You know, you're trading in stuff for something that you're going to effectively make money for, because you're buying a phone to use for the business. And in the future, you can always rebuy them consoles with the money, with the profit you've made from doing it, if you wanted to.
See them all the time.
And that's what I'm saying. At the car boot sale, especially with the Xboxes, you see them everywhere. I mean, I go to an auction on a Thursday, and sometimes you can pick up 10 Xbox 360s. You don't know whether they work, but they go for about 15 quid. Because they're so common now. And if they work, they're good money, but there's a lot of testing involved with consoles. That's the only thing.
Obviously, I think if I still saw a backwards compatible PlayStation 3, really good price, then the first thing, when you know stuff. I mean, even though I'm not actually actively looking to buy consoles, if you go past one, it's always how much you're looking for it.
It's worth an ask.
And sometimes it's silly money, or £3. It's like, well, okay, it's rude not to. I mean, literally sometimes they are £3, £5, and in which case it might just be a case of, right, I'll buy it now, I'll take it to CEX and just the next day and just swap it for a bit more cash without going for the whole load of money.
That's it,
But
because if they're cheap enough, you can do it.
Space, and it saves the space. And the other thing is, you go to CEX, they'll test it all up there and then. You're not going to get someone coming back, oh, it doesn't work, it doesn't do this, I've changed my mind, anything like that. You take it to the shop, it's done, it's over, you've got quick cash ready for next week, kind of thing. So
and you mentioned that, and I remember watching a YouTube channel years ago now, and I can't remember the channel's name, but there was two ladies who done that together. Their sole purpose was to go to car boot sales to pick up gaming stuff, to then go and sell to CEX. And that was how they ran their business. So it's a good way to do it if you can sort of niche down into that, and you don't want to deal with the hassle of eBay customer service and the things that can go wrong on eBay, as well as the good stuff. It's a really easy and simple way to run a business.
Well, the great thing also is, if you've got stuff that hasn't sold for a while and you just want a bit more cash because you want to go and buy something else, sometimes it's a really quick way to get rid of it, and just get the same way I did with the phone. You can get a quick lot of stuff, and some people will take a whole load of stuff, take the store credit, and then they'll actually buy one item from the store that's worth a lot, and then just sell the one item quickly. But anyway, that's enough about CX. Brilliant one on the consoles.
Happy with that.
I'm going to mention my next one. I'm going to go and get, because it's behind me. It was actually from the same guy that I bought all the shirts and the trousers from. Actually, I'm going to stand behind and do this one, because you can see it from there. It's a suit. This is a I don't know what the brand was.
Just says selected.
Says selected. It's a suit with trousers. It's new with tags. The jeans were 40 quid. The top is 60 quid. It cost me £1 each.
Wow.
£100 worth of suit, new with tags, for £2.
It just goes to show, doesn't it? If you kind of know what you look for, and especially now with you, Neil, niching down more into clothing, you start to realise quite quickly how much good stuff you can find at car boot sales.
Well, with
for a
that one,
pound.
it was more the guy selling it than you wanting it. wasn't it?
Absolutely.
'Cause
I mean,
he said, "Oh, I've got something else for you," and because Neil
Here we
basically
are.
anything new with tags, I'm interested in.
Yeah, he was literally doing it. It was literally a case of because he had stuff with new with tags. I actually said to him, if it's new with tags and it's a pound, just pull it out for me because I'll have it. Because anything new with tags for a pound, and then when it turns out to be a suit, I mean that's I'm really kind of happy with that. Saying that, I have no idea how I'm going to package it up when it sells. I mean, I'll know how to photograph
I'll
it,
help.
but Jan's going to help because it's like you just screw it up and it's got to be folded and
no, folded correctly, probably maybe in a box as well potentially.
I'm actually thinking maybe it would go in the suit bag hangers. Put it in one of those and maybe fold it in half and then put it in a package.
Leave it to
Jan
me.
would do it.
Jan's going to pat. I'm just going to answer Limelight Vinty's question. Is it hot in your shed, James? Yes, my shed is made of steel and it's absolutely boiling. Yesterday was horrendous. And funnily enough, I was speaking to the wife yesterday about when we move, because I think when we get to the end of this year, we'll probably start thinking about moving house and getting something bigger. But I want a purpose-built, either an extension or a garage, a bit like Nick Hill's. And she was like, that'd be quite nice, it's attached to the house and stuff. I said, but I want aircon in there. I want everything in there. I don't want to kind of compromise. But yeah, it's at times I have to get my work done at sort of 5, 6 in the morning because it's too hot to spend the whole day in here.
The aircon's going to be worth it.
Day.
Think about the amount of lifting you can't do because it's too hot to work. That's going to, you've got to keep that constant.
But when you start, you've got to kind of make do, and these are the kind of compromises you have working for yourself. Yes, I'll need a shower after this live stream, but that's all fine.
And as I was saying earlier, we've got aircon units. They're the mobile ones. And as soon as we get past this hot spell and get into cold, they'll come on the market really cheap secondhand because they're big, bulky, and people don't want them taking up the room.
But they are really good and effective.
Yeah.
So really worth it.
But in the UK, you're right. In the UK, we have. I mean, don't get me wrong, this year's felt different. I think we've had the hottest year since I can remember. But normally, you're right. You get 6-7 weeks of really warm weather, and then we're all moaning that it's always cold in the UK. Yeah. But when it's warm like this, we're all hoping, I wish it'd rain. I think that's the UK mentality. But I think on Wednesday this week they forecast rain, so it'll hopefully cool things down anyway.
I think by the end of the week it's supposed to cool down to, I think I saw about 23 degrees.
I think there's a warning of possible thunderstorms today.
Love a thunderstorm.
Oh yeah, we love thunder and lightning.
What have you got? Hang on, who's my
Jan?
Right, well, I've bought something, I'm just moving that out of the way. For my own personal collection, I have bought some pieces of Yadro and Neo. Neo being the same company as Yadro, but Yadro Blue Label is slightly better.
We've got someone at the door. You hang on, Joe, I'll open the door.
Sorry about this.
No, fine.
Shush. Sorry.
Dogs do.
Sorry, I can't talk with the barking going on.
I'll just say a couple of hellos quickly. So Bills and Moon are in higher. Stephanie, I think we've said hello already. Limelight Vinty and Tina, I think you've been in as well. So yeah, thanks for joining. It's really nice when we can have a chat between us, but also a live chat with you guys in the chat section.
Yeah, so now we have quiet restored.
So
somebody knocking on the door trying to do
tree and gardening work.
For goodness tell, we've got no trees.
It's just like,
what you need for the front door, you need a weird live sticker you can put on the front door so no one disturbs you.
But it was also, I hate to say it, he was from up north, and it was, you got any tree and garden work? What? It's like, I just couldn't know. About 5 times I had to ask him, sorry, what are you saying? But anyway.
Right, so anyway, the first 2 pieces I got from a trader, and this is, I'm trying to see the right way up to show you. This is Yadro, which you see with the blue mark on the bottom saying Yadro.
So where does Yadro come from, John?
From the Valencian region in Spain, and at boot sales you often see things in the Valencia style that aren't actually Ladro or Neo, and also there are some other names that Yadro started selling under before it all got called Neo or Yadro. So you've kind of got to learn your pieces. But that one you can see it's the brown Neo mark on it. Mm-hmm. Now, these two from the trader, he had a really, really big piece that is absolutely beautiful that he was saying he just bought for £200 in a charity shop. And he was really thrilled because the brand new price for that one is $275. So he's thinking he got a really good deal, but that he'd bought the old colours. They brought it out in new colours, and the old colours are worth $85. The new colour is $275. So he's actually lost out a lot of money not doing his homework. And the two nail pieces I got for £5 each from somebody who was just selling her own pieces. And I'm running a 1-in, 1-out system on my own collection. So if I buy one, then I've got to choose one to get rid of.
Yeah.
So the Yadro pieces are definite keepers. The Neo, I'm not so sure yet. I'll have to go through my whole collection there. But altogether, these four cost me £40, but they have a collective resale value of £150.
Nice.
So if I decided to sell these straight away, but then there is always the worry of, you know, will you snap the wings off on the way, or?
I think, Jan, you're better off keeping all four for your own collection. I think just in case you damage them.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see, like the fingers are individually done. Sometimes the fingers are actually individually cast on these pieces.
Can I show your existing collection?
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah, I've got a glass cabinet, and my top shelf are keepers. Then when we get a new item for the top, it starts moving down the shelves as it gets nearer.
Oh yeah, I can see. Oh, Jan, there's plenty of room in there for 4 more.
I think there is too.
Yeah. You've got to treat yourself
to catalogue them all so that when I die, then Neil will know which ones are worth selling and what they're called. Because you need to know model numbers, and to get the best price, you need to know the model numbers, the sculptor, when they were made. Some of them have dates on the bottom, which makes life easier.
Of course.
But you'll see when people list them, they'll always say rare.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they're not rare at all. But, you know, there's
the make. I know what you mean. The make might be rare, but actually that figure is not rare. So you do see that a lot on eBay where they say rare. Maybe the brand is quite rare, but actually that figure's quite common. So, you do see that a lot. Funny what you were talking about charity shops there, Jan. I saw something on my Instagram this morning, and it just reminded me, because I'm looking at this Wii. They put up a picture of a charity shop who had a boxed Nintendo Wii, used condition. So they had on a window, fully tested, brand new price, $275, our price, £200.
Wow.
And they're kind of thinking, oh, well, this is what they go for brand new at $275. So because it's used, we'll take £75 off it. Yeah. And as we all know, that's not how it works, because if you have a brand new sealed Wii, yes, you'll probably get $275 to $300 because gaming collectors will keep that brand new and sealed. But you can't compare a brand new and sealed console to a used console because the prices are nowhere near for the age of it as well. So, yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Whether it's a car or anything else, the minute that it's been used, I mean, with the car, my husband was in had a garage, and he always said the minute you set those wheels on the road, it's lost a third of its price.
Yeah,
it's the same with a lot of these things. Yeah. You know, once it's used,
yeah,
you know, like people back in around about 2008 when we had that recession, I was doing very, very well buying diamond jewelry, and then selling it. But people were thinking, I get an insurance valuation, that's what it's worth. No, that's nowhere near what it's worth. You know, you've got to take quite a lot off that. That is what it would cost to replace it with a brand new one the same.
For insurance purposes.
Yeah,
maybe.
So that's for insurance purposes. Yeah. You know, and people have a really odd idea of what their second-hand goods are worth. And sometimes it's quite hard to explain to people that actually your stuff isn't worth what you think it is. You know, I had that several times with diamond rings where there was one young couple, I felt so sorry for them, who were totally ripped off in a second-hand shop and bought a ring that they thought was a 1 carat diamond. It was about 1/4 of a carat. So they paid way over the odds and it was worth almost nothing.
And it's kind of that kind of thing has put me off going to charity shops now, because I'll be honest with you, I will go in one if I'm walking past, but I won't make an effort to go charity shop hunting for stock. And I used to go to one local to me, and I got friendly with the manager in the store. She knew what I'd done. I was honest with her from the start. And she goes, "Oh, do you know what? I love people like you, because you will come in here, you'll spend money with us, you will still make some money." And she would put stuff aside for me and text me and say, "James, come down. I've got all this stuff for you." And I would say to her, "How much do you want for it?" And she would say, "I don't know, 20 quid the lot." I said, "That's too cheap. Let me give you 30, you know, because I can still make profit." Anyway, long story short, she doesn't work there anymore. And I went in there recently and everything is eBay price this much, our price this much. And I said to him, I said, I used to come in all the time and spend, you know, I'd spend 200, 300 pound a week in this charity shop. And they were like, "Well, if you're going to make profit on it, why can you not give that to the charity and you still make a small bit of profit?" I said, "Because there's no profit left in it anymore." I love supporting charities. I've got no issue with that. But if you're asking me to buy this from you and I can buy it online cheaper, I'm not going to buy it from you. And this will be sitting on the shelf for months. And then you start rejecting donations. And so it's that thing as well. I mean, the charity shops are a great thing, but when you walk in and you're trying to donate things to them and they can't take it because they've got too much stuff out the back, you kind of think just reduce all your prices and get it moving.
Absolutely. And also they're very often looking up prices that people are asking on eBay, not the sold.
Not sold. Yeah,
and
that's
cool. You can ask whatever you like. Doesn't mean to say you're going to get it.
Yeah, of course.
That's why at the moment we, you know, we might do the charity shops when the car boot sales stop. But I mean, we know that if we're buying stock from charity, we're looking at 3 or 4 times what we're paying at boot sales.
Of course.
So it's hard. But I mean, the thing is, you might come across. I mean, if you went to enough charity shops and really canvassed your area for charity shops, you might find some good ones, and you would know the ones to go to. A bit like what you did have going, but there are so many that are overpricing. There may still be some that are priced well.
Yeah, and we actually found the same thing going to our first jumble sale in about 20 years earlier this year, didn't we? That, you know, I mean, last time I went to a jumble sale, it's like, you know, a wool coat for 5p, that sort of thing. Walked in this time and asked how much, I can't even remember what it was, but they said 10 quid. And I thought, I'm serious, this is a jumble sale.
Saying that, they didn't know the price of an Olympus Mew I picked up for £1.
I love picking up the Olympus Mews.
Yeah.
It's always nice when you find them.
Yeah.
He had it for literally 2 hours in his possession. He bought it home, listed it, sold it within 2 hours.
Again, if you price it right, it will sell within minutes, because people have safe searches for them cameras because they're so robust. Yeah. So they're always a good find.
Have you got any more items left, James?
I've got one more. One more I've sorted out, and it is a Nerf gun. All different shapes and sizes now they come in. The reason I picked this up is 50p is the Nerf. I don't know if you can see that Nerf Rebel.
Right.
That one there. So I have, and I still am, I have got so many Nerf guns. So at this car boot sale on a Sunday, there was a couple selling Nerf guns, and I don't know where they're getting them from. They said they were their children that had grown out of them, and they said to me, "We've got thousands of this." Anyway, so my first pickup, I think it was 84 Nerf guns with loads of magazines, loads of bullets. It was £180 I paid. Wow. And I know quite a bit about the Nerfs, and they sell quite quick. So I made good profit on there. And I think it was 3 weeks later, I saw them again, and they had hundreds of Nerf guns again. And I said, "Come on then, what price do you need for the lot?" And I think that was 120. So I took the lot off them again. And they're so easy to list, and they sell for good money. But I didn't pick this up from them. This was 50p from another stall. Some of this Nerf Rebel stuff goes for good money. This is probably 10 or 15 pounds, this one alone. But what I will do, I've got loads of brand new bullets, which I'll bundle with it. So I'll put a couple of packs of bullets just to try and achieve that. But some of the Nerf guns will go for silly money. I mean, I've sold Nerf guns for £80 to £100, and you can pick them up at £5. So the best way to research is look at eBay solds and have a look at what guns to keep your eyes open for.
I don't know anything
I
about
always think,
Nerf guns.
well, the only thing I think, they can be so big, and you know, it keeps coming back to real estate for me. You know, it's just going to take up too much space, and that's what sort of stops me buying a lot of things these days. Is I look at it and I just think space. You know, real estate.
Yeah, I mean, I store all mine in the loft for that reason, because some of them are, you know, day long. But some of the smaller ones, the small pistol ones, still go for good money. But from this person, as I mentioned, I had about 200 packs of bullets, like brand new sealed bullets. So every bundle I do, I chuck a couple of packs in. But also the clips that actually attach into the guns, I have loads of multi-listings of them. So 2 of them clips with a pack of bullets, I'm achieving like $13.99 to $15.99, and they're selling like daily. So there is really good money in it, but the problem is, Jan spot on, storage space. It's not like with yourself, Neil, you can buy 80 pairs of jeans and you can store them pretty easily. Where if I bought 80 Nerf guns, well, you need to maybe improve on the storage system if you're not storing them easily, Neil. But what I would say is 80 Nerf guns, it takes up, you know, a quarter of my loft.
Yeah.
So you have to always think about that storage space. I'm only in a small shed here, and this is rammed. I store all the books at my dad's house down the road. So actually, you always have to think about that storage. And I was speaking to you, wasn't I, Neil, about I had the chance to buy 14,000 books.
Yes.
From someone who was selling their whole book collection, and the money wasn't the issue; it was the space.
Yeah,
and the storage costs would have been too much for me at this stage at the moment. But in the future, would I take that opportunity? I absolutely would, because I've seen how quick these books do sell. So I think it's about right place, right time, and knowing what you're looking for. But yeah, you have to consider that storage.
But I think it's really interesting that last year when we came into it, loads and loads of resellers were taking on storage facilities and business premises. And all of those seem to almost in unison giving up their storage spaces and building sheds and big storage areas in their garden.
In talking to James, I was saying that, you know, we pay £11 something for our garage.
Yeah, we've got a council garage.
I think you were saying
that have for donkey's years.
That around your area they're like £100 a week, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I looked at Big Yellow Storage for the books first of all, and I know they're always expensive, but that was coming out over £200 a week just for the storage facility. And I thought to myself, for 14,000 books, they're not like I don't know. If I had 14,000 iPhone chargers, you know, if you price them slightly under market, you'd probably sell them in a month or two. But 14,000 books aren't going to go in a month or two. We're talking a year. And if you work out that cost, say it's coming up to £1,000, that's £12,000 in a year just to store the books.
How long do you think it would have taken you to? I mean, you've already done 4,000 books, haven't you? So
So processing the books. So I find doing the books really quick if you do them in bundles. So when I was doing my books, I was listing around 50 book bundles a day without no issue, you know, on top of doing my other listings as well. But I probably sold, I reckon I've sold close to 1,500 books so far in the space of maybe 6 weeks or whatever it is, 7 weeks or 8 weeks, whatever it may be now. But they're all bundles. So they're all sort of going out as bundles. But I've underpriced them under the market slightly. So they are the cheapest you will find on eBay, because my plan was to get them moving. And already, I mean, that bundle cost me £400 for the 4,000, so 10p a book. And already, I haven't updated the spreadsheet from this weekend, but I'm getting close to, I think, 1,800 profit so far, just on the books alone. And I've got loads left to sell. So I know there's good money in it, but it's not enough money where you have to justify, you know, these 14,000 books would have cost me about four grand to buy, first of all. And then you've got to add the 12 grand storage if you sort of anticipate it's going to be a year. So now you're at £16,000 and you start thinking, where's the profit going to come from? And that's if you sell them within a year. And not just that, you've got to take into account your time as well. You know, 4,000 books took me probably about a month to get up and process. So you're looking at sort of 3 to 6 months to process the 14,000 books. So straight away, you're 6 months into storage before you even really get going.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the moment, not the right time for me. But if I saw another bundle of say 2,000 to 4,000 books, I would pick them up overnight, 100%. But my dad wouldn't be happy because they're all stored at his. So I kind of got to negotiate that one again, I think.
Yeah. See, my mum's really lucky, actually. She's half an hour drive away. And that's just not practical to store stuff down there for
Even
selling.
when she's got a big 4-bedroom house.
Even when she's got a big 4-bedroom house, which is plenty of room to store loads, it's just not. Which is very
It's
lucky.
bad enough even with our garage, because our garage is a mile and a half away, isn't it? So
yeah.
you've got to factor in that you've got fuel going backwards and forwards all the time.
And the frustrating thing is, I mean, I do 1 day dispatch, but on the books I do 2 days, just because of that leeway of having to go and pick them up. Yeah. But I can't tell you the amount of times that I'll pick up all the book bundles. So I've got to go after this call, actually. I've got about 12 bundles to pick up to post out for today. But I know what's going to happen. As soon as I get back in the van and start driving back here, another bundle's going to sell. Yeah. So I always go there every Monday, Wednesday and Friday to pick them up because of the 2-day dispatch, because at the weekend you don't have to worry as much. So that's how I try and plan it. But it's sod's law. As soon as I'm back here, another couple of bundles will sell. And I'm thinking, if that happened 10 minutes ago, I could have picked them up. I might not have to go Wednesday now. So it is frustrating at times, but I guess you've just got to do what you can do.
Well, I actually work on a 1-day dispatch, and my kind of plan is that the stuff that I'm listing that day, the next day can actually go to the garage, and then whatever I need to pick up for sales that day also comes back. So once a day I go. It's basically,
you're not wasting a trip then.
No, it's once a day I go to the garage, and obviously drop off and shelve what needs to be put into stock.
That's a good way to do it.
Come back. That's my plan at the moment. It's always open to variations, but that's what I'm working on at the moment. So, well, I've got 4 items left, but basically I've got a coffee machine which I pick up regularly. It's just a
are you all right for time, James?
Yeah, I'm good. I've probably got another 5 or 10 minutes or so.
Cool. Well, I'll wrap my little bits up. There's a camera for £1. I've never seen a camera like this one before.
That's interesting. What make is that?
Camera. So what? Sorry,
Rico.
A Rico.
Oh, okay.
It's
That's quite cool.
Film camera. Film goes in at the back. I don't know if it will open up.
Move my figurines out of the way.
Yeah, move your figurines. I can't open it in a minute. Well, I've just never seen one like this.
No.
Saying like I did look it up. They're only worth about £25, but I just never seen one like it. I think that's a battery bit, and this battery bit kind of moves. I don't know if it can be used as a handle.
Well, it said Rico at the front. That bit says, I can't read it, you keep moving it. Mirai.
But anyway,
No idea.
I've never seen one like that, so it's like for £1. I'll see if it works. And
you're always picking it up for £1
and learn something. So that was that one. The next really quick one is possibly you all had or saw these when we were at school. Little organ, small Casio. Picked up for £1. They sell for 20.
Yeah, easy as well.
Yeah, nice and easy. So that they're always worth. If you see the Casio little organs and you can pick them up for £1 or so, there's always profit in those.
And I picked up a little Caithness paperweight. Strangely, these often sell out to America. You've got big paperweight collectors in America. So they often go off on global shipping.
I've just seen Mel's joined the chat. Mel, I've been speaking highly of you again this morning about how you encouraged me to do my first YouTube video and to go and watch your first one. So, always appreciate Mel's advice when it comes to not just the books, but the YouTube channel as well. She's been so supportive. So I know everyone probably does, but if you don't follow Mel, give her some love on YouTube because her channel's great.
Yeah, definitely.
Hi,
Mel. Lovely to have you on our channel. In fact, Mel, can you do us a favour? Can you just put in a link to your channel? And we'll pop it up on screen because anyone who doesn't know you yet needs to know you because you've got a great channel.
Yeah, and anyone else in the chat as well who has a channel, I'm the same on my lives. Pop it up because we're always happy to share and shout out other channels as well. So yeah, drop it in the chat, and Neil can plug your channel as well.
Absolutely. Right. So, have you got any more items? 'Cause I've got one more item left.
I've never ever picked up a toast rack before. I know that the Lurpak ones go for quite decent money.
I sold a Lurpak one last weekend. Actually, you say that it was in the box and stuff, and it didn't look. The box wasn't great, but it still went for I think about £15.
Yeah.
So they're worth looking out for.
I had this one because it's Rayware on it, but I've got no idea if it's worth anything. I think I paid about 20p for it. It was in a box on the floor, and
I mean, that is the great thing about reselling is that, you know, you learn. I mean, I learned so much about a lot of the stuff that Jan picks up, but seeing about, you know, just the stuff that normally you would just walk past. Now, I know the idea of niching
I do
down,
like to pick up mugs, and I would never have normally picked up these two, other than it was such a horrible day for sellers. There were almost no buyers going round. And if the poor guy was selling it, so 50p the pair, and I just felt sorry for him. Yeah. I thought he's actually got out of bed and come to the boot sale and put his stuff out. So you've got to encourage them somehow by buying something. But
yeah,
maybe
£10 the pair, but no great amount.
I've got to post this from Mel. She's saying, I can't link as I'm not a spammer, laugh out loud, but I'm back from burnout. Mel,
I hope she means admin spanner, not just a spanner in general. Because in the UK, a spanner is, I don't know if it's the same in Australia, but yeah, she's definitely not a spanner. But I know what she means.
Spam, yeah, probably spanner.
Oh, she's saying not spammer.
No, spanner. She said, as in like admin. You know, you get the admin spanners where they can block and delete comments. Neil, don't worry, I haven't learned how to do it yet.
Anyway,
I picked that up for 50p. It's a little milk jug in the shape of a cat. I know that they sell for about £8, so at 50p, I thought that's an easy choice.
And these small pickups, it doesn't sound a lot of profit at times, but it keeps your eBay store active.
Yeah.
You know, even putting something up that's only going to make you maybe £6 or £7 profit, a lot of people will say, oh, it's not worth me listing. But I always think to myself, as long as you're not just listing things that are going to make you £3 or £4, you're just going to make a little bit of profit. If you add them into the other things, it's that activity that eBay likes in your store. So
yeah,
it's activity, but also, I mean, ideally, if I can make 4 or 5 times what I've put out, then it's still a profit, and it's still, I mean, although it's nice ideally to try and make £10 or more on each one.
But also, just because everybody else is selling those for £8 doesn't mean to say I won't put it up for 15 and get 15 for it. You know, whereas
exactly.
If you're saying you undercut, I always go over because I'm not. I do this as a hobby, whereas Neil does it as a job. So
and I think that's important. There's less of a rush for you to get that money.
Yeah. So you know, if I stick something up at a ridiculous price, like, you know, I bought something for £3 one year and sold it for £30 the next year, I'd sat on it for a year, but it made £27 profit. So
absolutely.
As long as I've got enough space to store it somewhere, I'm in no rush to get rid of it. However, if you want 50 teapots, I'm your woman.
I know where to come.
Is that your last item?
Yeah, because James has got to go.
Yeah. Did you have any more items, James? Or are you good?
I've got loads I'm sorting through today. So I'll probably do a bit of a YouTube video of kind of my overview of the pickups and stuff, and also re-talk about the PlayStation and stuff as well. So over to you.
Well, my last item, which was literally the last 2-3 tables along in the boot sale. So this is a mixing desk, but it also actually has it's actually for DVD for CDs. So you got the CD players here, and then you can mix them. Yeah, he was initially after 30 quid. He then dropped to 25, and then I said, well, I'm not really sure on this one. I'll give you 20 if you want. I could take a chance for 20. And literally, he was packing up, and he's like, "Yeah, why not?" So that's now having a look at these have sold for about 110.
Oh,
Someone's just saying.
Someone's asking about James. Can you roll
James's channel? Here we have James.
Neil set up a scroller here. I'm so impressed with this.
Well, literally,
Yeah,
what you do is go into banners, and then there's a button that you click if you want it to be a scroller. But yeah, so there's James's channel. Also, when this goes live, after I know we're live, but when it goes as a recording, I'll put James's channel, I'll put Mel's channel. So if anyone else wants to write their channel in the comments right now, and I'll get those up as well.
So if anybody watches on the replay.
Yeah. So that people can get other people's channel.
And if anyone's not bored of me enough from this live this morning, I'm on my channel. I'm going live tonight with Flipping Sloth, who a lot of people might follow. Jay, he goes to the local car boot sale, the same one as me, and we've been having a good chat. And we're going to announce a new challenge that we're doing. So it's a auction challenge. So that's 7 o'clock tonight on my channel.
Yeah, we'll be there.
7 o'clock. Yeah, we'll be there watching. Yeah, I think that's really good. Well,
as soon as we get off this, we need to set an Alexa alarm.
Set an Alexa alarm for that. So yeah, anyone else got an Alexa? Set an alarm for 7 o'clock for James's Boldfinds.
Yeah, come and join us.
Because people start doing it.
Oh, they do, don't they?
If I'm watching somebody doing a cooking thing and then they're setting an alarm for their cooking and mine starts going off.
Excellent.
Just
right.
whisper it.
No, hang on. Alexa,
no.
Set an alarm for 7 o'clock Boldfinds. There we go. It's set on ours.
It's done.
You can plug the one in here. It's the kitchen one you set up. Oh,
yeah. Hopefully everyone's Alexa's in the chat is now all plugged in for. So yeah, if I get more than my record, which is 12 viewers on the live, then I'll put it down to that. Yeah, Mel. I know you're asleep, Mel. I know. I do it at times, which is not suitable for Mel to join, but. 1 week I'm going to do it where Mel can jump in the chat as well, because every time I do a live I shout out Mel, so no, that's cool.
Excellent. Right, well I think we're about done, and you need to get off this work. I've got to go and do some work. So thank you for everybody joining. Thank you very much for James for spending some time with us, and look forward to
it's been nice to actually have a chat with you. Normally I'm lurking in the background and shouting at my shoulder, so it's been nice.
No, of course, it's been so nice to be on your channel, guys, and some great pickups over the weekend. So we better get it listed.
You're welcome back anytime, James.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to start doing more. As we go into winter, we'll do a lot more lives anyway. Like I say, anytime the boot sales are rained off, we'll do a rainy Sunday show.
Sure.
Because if it's rained off for us, everybody's sitting there thinking, well, now what do we do?
Anyway, great to have you on, and we'll end the broadcast.
Thank you all. Have a good day.
Everybody, take care. Bye.